Why Africans struggle to marry across borders. Imagine this. A Kenyan man falls in love with a Ghanaian woman. They want to build a life together, right here in Africa. But what should be a simple celebration of love turns into years of legal struggles, mountains of paperwork, and thousands of dollars spent. Because even in Africa, it's often easier to marry across oceans than across borders. And that should shame us all. Let's speak the truth. Africa has failed its own people when it comes to unity. And nowhere is this failure more personal, more painful, than in love and marriage. To understand why Africans can't easily marry each other, we have to go back. Africa's borders were never drawn by Africans. In 1884, at the Berlin Conference, European powers sat around a table and divided the continent for their benefit. They split ethnic groups, families, and entire civilizations, and left us with borders that made no sense then and still make no sense today. When independence came, we didn't break the chains, we polished them. Our leaders inherited these colonial systems. Instead of dismantling the borders that divided us, we reinforced them with visas, work permits, and immigration hurdles, even for Africans marrying Africans. And yet, we spoke of unity. Leaders like Kwame Nkrumah dreamed of a United States of Africa. The African Union, ECOWAS, the East African Community, and SADC, all promised free movement, integration, and a new era of brotherhood. But where are we now? That dream is flickering. Nationalism has replaced Pan-Africanism. Bureaucracy has replaced brotherhood. And love across borders is treated with suspicion, not support. Let's look at the harsh reality. A Nigerian man marries a Kenyan woman. She must apply for a long-term visa, undergo medical screening, pay endless fees, and wait years before she can even apply for citizenship. A Ghanaian marries a South African. They spend thousands on legal advice, translation, documents, and immigration interviews, only to risk deportation for missing a single step. Even in regions that preach integration like ECOWAS or the East African Community, enforcement is weak. A Ugandan marrying an Ethiopian still faces bribes, denial of entry, and endless red tape. This is not just inconvenient. It is unjust. It is un-African. And the financial burden? It's a punishment. Visa fees from $100 to $500. Residency permits over $500 a year. Legal costs in the thousands. These are barriers that many Africans simply cannot afford and should not have to pay. Here's the bitter truth. For many Africans, it is easier to marry someone from Europe or North America and gain residency abroad than it is to marry a fellow African and live together here. Let that sink in. So what's holding us back? Our immigration laws are fragmented. Each African country operates in isolation. There is distrust between African governments. There's fear that open doors bring crime or economic threat. And most of all, there's a deep colonial hangover. We treat our neighbors as outsiders. We act like different passports make us different people. It is time to wake up. We should be ashamed. Ashamed that love must beg for permission. Ashamed that borders drawn by colonizers still separate African hearts. Ashamed that unity is preached at summits, but denied in immigration offices. So what must we do? Here are practical solutions that African leaders can implement immediately, not tomorrow, not in 10 years, now. 1. Grant immediate residency to African spouses. If an African marries another African, they should receive immediate residency in their partner's country. No years of waiting. No legal harassment. Because a family cannot thrive in limbo. A spouse must be able to live, access housing, bank accounts, healthcare, and legal protections, without fear of deportation. Denying this is not just anti-African, it's anti-human. 2. Grant immediate work permits. Give African spouses the right to work immediately *** upon marriage. Why? Because survival is non-negotiable. No family can grow without income. When you block one spouse from working, you force that family into poverty. You rob the nation of their talent, their taxes, their ideas. Many cross-border spouses are skilled professionals, entrepreneurs, teachers, doctors, engineers, people who can contribute directly to the economy. Why waste their potential? By allowing them to work, the country gains tax revenue, reduces unemployment pressure, and boosts productivity. Everyone wins. 3. Recognize marriages regionally. All African Union member states should recognize any legal marriage between Africans, just like the EU does for Europeans. When two Africans marry, that marriage should be valid and respected across the entire continent. Not questioned. Not delayed. 4. Abolish marriage visa fees for Africans. It is outrageous to tax Africans for marrying each other. Remove the burden. Scrap the visa and residency fees for inter-African couples. Make love free again. Make unity practical. 5. Create a digital continental marriage registry. We need a centralized African platform where couples can register their marriages and access legal protections across the continent. This allows governments to verify information quickly, reduce fraud, and build digital trust across borders. 6. Implement the African passport. Start with spouses. Let African spouses be the first recipients of the African Union passport. Let them move, live, and work across countries with dignity. This isn't idealism, it's justice. To the leaders of Africa, we are calling on you. Break the colonial systems. Stop punishing African love. You cannot claim Pan-Africanism in public speeches while upholding foreign systems that keep Africans apart. And to the people of Africa, demand better. Because if Africans can't even love each other freely, what kind of unity are we building? We are wasting lives, losing talents, breaking families, all because of outdated laws and outdated fears. At After You Are Research, we expose the truth others ignore. We fight for progress, for dignity, for African futures that make sense. So subscribe, share this message, and raise your voice, because we are all we have.